Hi, Miracle here. Welcome to Chess with Dash. In this video series, we'll be solving 101 deadly checkmates, which was formerly 1001, which I had to cut down due to continuity reasons. So, for each video, previously they were shorts. I made shorts for each puzzle, but I'm taking it a step further. So, making a video. So, for each video, we'll be having 10 puzzles, and for each puzzle, I'll require you to pause the video, try to figure out if you can solve it before getting to see how to get it done. And if you stick around to the end, I have a bonus for you. So without further ado, let's get started. Alright, so this is the first video, and here it's white to move and mate into. This is mate into for white regardless of whatever black plays. Alright, I want you to pause the video, try to figure out the move for black and the continuation while we get it done. Alright, if you figured it out, you'll know that it's a seemingly possible move, queen to h6. Alright, this move doesn't necessarily come with check or anything, but it's a tricky move and threatening mate on one because the queen takes on h7, that will checkmate. If black takes the knight on f6, then the queen takes the rook on f8. It's checkmate. If black tries to promote his pawn, the queen takes on h7. That's also checkmate. So this is the first puzzle. Now heading to the next one. Alright, so for the second puzzle, white to move and to deliver checkmate in two moves. Well, if you see it, you might want to pause the video to try to figure it out. If not, the move is knight to g6 check. The knight sacrifice. The king cannot move to the square as the bishop blocks. So the only move is h takes on g6 check, and now the rook slides over and delivers checkmate. Rook to h2. Alright, so for this third puzzle, it's black to move. There are many moves that black can make here to give it an advantage, but there's only just one move here to deliver checkmate. You can pause the video, but the move is easy to see. That's queen to c1. This is checkmate. And this is possible because of the pawns on d5 and a5. They block the squares for the king. So the king cannot go. The king cannot go here either because of the king. So this is checkmate. If you thought of other moves, perhaps like king to f2, perhaps, then the black king can simply move away, and then if you try any move like this, and you're just not in time to stop him. Alright, so this and the king to c1 checkmate is the only move that gives you decisive advantage in this position. Alright, that's it for the third puzzle. Now move. Alright, in this position, there are various moves to make, but it's just one move that gives white rather the decisive advantage. It's easy to spot for some. So in case you've not spotted it, you might pause the video to spot that. Now the move is knight to f6 check, and this is knight to f6 check. The knight cannot take, the bishop cannot take the knight. This is due to the fact that the bishop is pinned to the king. So the king has two moves: king to f8, and king to f8, which falls to queen to e8, which is a checkmate, or king to h8, which still falls to king to h7, which is checkmate. So this is the only this move, knight to f6 check, is the only move that guarantees a win for white. If white decide to take on g7, queen takes, knight takes on j7, king takes on j7, king to f3. Now here white is up a pawn, but white has to work for his meal. So the cleanest way to get things done is knight to f6 check. Alright, so moving to the next. Okay, so in this position, it's white to move, and white has many decisive moves, but the best winning move here is rook takes on f8 check with check. Now this you might wonder why the rook cannot take back. Well, the rook can't because the rook here is pinned with the queen, so there's just one more, and the king cannot escape as all escape squares have been blocked by the bishop. So king takes on f8, the beautiful queen to d8 checkmate. Well, it is checkmate because the bishop here stops the king from escaping and the queen covers this square and this square. So that's it for this puzzle. Moving to the next one. Alright, so this is another position to solve. When I came across this position, it was quite tricky to me at first. You can pause the video to try figure it out. Well, it's white to move, and surprisingly, the white has this move g4 check, and you may wonder why black can take on pison, that is h takes x3 check, which is true, but now knight takes on g3, which is checkmate. Now this is possible because of the rook here blocks this route, the bishop here blocks this route, the pawn and the pawn, so the king is literally boxed in. So this is checkmate. Alright, so this is another puzzle that greatly makes use of diagonals and weak squares on your opponent's camp. Here it's white to move, and the move is queen to h3 check. This is a move that when you see, you know, yeah, this is actually winning. Well, if here the king has just one square to go, if the king decides to evade the check, that is to hg7, and white simply plays queen to h8 check. The king cannot take the queen because the queen is supported by the rook on d8, and if black interposes, when white simply takes, and when king moves, white plays queen to h8, and this is still checkmate. So moving to the next one. Alright, so in this position, white has a decisive advantage and a winning one at that. So if white is to take advantage of this, white can begin with the move rook to f4 check. Now rook to f4 check, from here it's mates in one regardless of what black plays. Now if black goes to king to g5, knight to f7 delivers check, as the knight blocks the escape square on h6 and also attacks the king on g5. Alright, and if the king moves to h3, then simply rook to h4 is checkmate, as the white king blocks the king from coming out, and also the rook defends the pawn. So that's it for this puzzle. Now let's head on to the next one. Okay, so this is another position. Sometimes when not all winning moves begins with check, and this is one of such positions. Well, if you saw the move king to g2, then that's absolutely correct. Now here black is simply limiting that, because regardless of what black plays, white is simply checkmating the next move. For example, if rook takes this bishop, and simply rook takes on g6 is checkmate. This is because the king cannot come down, and they can also not take the pawn because the king defends the pawn. And if black tries another move such as f4, maybe trying to entice black and white to take the pawn, then simply rook to g6, rook takes on g6, and this is also checkmate. So some of these positions are quite tricky. You might have some of these positions in your games, and all it takes some time is just for you to look into it. Alright, so this is for this puzzle, and moving. Alright, so we also have another position here where it's white to move, and regardless of the passed pawn, black's passed pawn on e2, black and white is still having a win advantage, and white begins with the move rook to a7. This now we check, and the threat is simple: rook down to a8, which will deliver checkmate. It doesn't matter what black does. Black might as well introduce a queen to the game. Rook e1 queen, and simply rook to a8 to the checkmate. And if black tries to move away, simply still rook to a8 will be checkmate, as this is the fact that the bishop covers the d7 square, and also the king covers these other squares. So that's it for this puzzle, and this is the last puzzle for the video. Thank you for sticking around this far. Alright, so for the bonus, like I said earlier, I have these positions all PGN formats, and if you once in a while want to solve these puzzles, there'll be a link in the description where you'll be able to download it for free. Alright, so thank you very much for sticking around to this point, and I hope you got something from this, and I hope you had fun while trying to solve the puzzle. If you did, please drop a comment below, hit the like button if you liked the video, and so as to help the YouTube algorithm rank our videos. And also subscribe to the channel, as this will do a lot of good. So that's for this video. See you in subsequent videos. Check.